stay.
Oh, good.
Okay, I've got 10 o'clock, so we'll call the meeting of the Finance Administration Committee to order. I am Tobin Hope, chairperson. I'm attending remotely from my home in the city of Mount Pleasant, Isabella County.
I'm Jerry Jelazinski, attending from my home in Chippewa Township, Isabella County, Michigan.
Call to the public. Nicole, do we have any public?
We do not at this time, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. First up then is consider accepting and placing on file the 2021 State Tax Commission Form L4046 taxable, I just lost my screen, sorry, taxable valuation report as presented. And we have our Pete Preston, our
Good morning.
hi, Pete. How you
Good
doing?
morning.
The 4046 form is it's a statement to the State Tax Commission that all taxable values and such have been tabulated for the upcoming or resulting from the March Board of Review. It is subject to change from any filings of veterans or poverty exemptions or other matters, MTT cases or Michigan Tax Tribunal cases as we go through the year.
So kind of a living document as we progress.
It sets the benchmark for the rest of the year.
Okay. Yep. Jerry, do you have any?
No, I have no questions.
I dug out last year's just to compare, and it's kind of interesting. The total for real and personal valuations went up about 8%. Last year it was 1,976 million, and this year it's 2,142 million. So that was kind of interesting. Real property section was up 2.1%. It's interesting too, the industrial real property in the county, and we see this every year on this form, is in Fremont Township at 9.7 million, quite a bit higher. Mount Pleasant is at 6.2 million. I'm thinking it must be more bark out there in Fremont. That,
Yes.
yeah. The other takeaway, total personal property was up about 60%. And out of the three classes of that, commercial was actually down slightly. Utility was up 21%, and industrial, as we expected, with the wind turbines and whatnot, is up 155%. So a big jump there that we expected to see. If you look at Coe Township, though, we're starting to see that second year depreciation. They're at 73.3 million for that industrial personal property. Last year they were at 76.7 million. So down just slightly. Second year of that. Isabella Township up quite a bit from 22 million all the way up to 63 million. And then Nottawa Township last year was at 3.3 million, and this year is at 70.6 million. So, yep, big jump there. So just some interesting takeaways from the data, comparing it to last year.
Yes,
Thank you
definitely.
for doing that, Commissioner Hope. That's wonderful information. I appreciate that.
I'm going to ask him to stop vacuuming just for a second outside my door. I'll be right back.
Okay. Yeah, if I'd have written it on a document, I'd have shared it, but it's just scribbled on my yellow pad here, so
No, it's interesting. It's great.
My apologies.
no problem.
Okay.
So if there's nothing else, then I'll make a motion that we consider accepting and placing on file the 2021 State Tax Commission Form L 4046 Taxable Valuation Report as presented.
I will support that.
Been moved and supported. Any further discussion? Pete, did you have anything else you wanted to say about this?
No, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. It's been moved and supported. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And on to the next item, consider approving the State Tax Commission Form L 4029 2021 Tax Rate Request Form, setting the 2021 Isabella County separate tax limitation operating rate at 6.61 mils and authorize the board chair and county clerk to sign the same. Form we do every year, right? So we can collect taxes this summer.
Yes, and you will be levying against that $2.142 billion and from your increases that you mentioned in the 4046. Of particular note here, I'll let you know that a large number of our communities that we provide services to did experience a Headley rollback on their millage. Isabella County did not. And primarily the reason for that has to do with a lot of the new construction and such and the new, but you did dodge a little bit of a bullet this year with some of those decreases. So you did, or increases. So you did not experience a Headley rollback, which would have reduced your millage from 6.61 down.
Okay. Do you know, or maybe this question's more complicated, but it's where the cap is to where the Headley rollback takes effect?
It's a complicated formula of new and lost plus the inflation rate multiplier. I think that what you'll find in general, though, is a lot of folks are sitting back waiting to see what happens with the inflation rate and what could transpire next year. So it is definitely something that we do not have a good handle on until late April, beginning of May, to establish that there's a rollback. And that's pretty much the only times we can start sounding any alarms at that point.
Mhm. Okay. Sounds good. Jerry, do you have anything, comments, questions?
No, I do not.
Okay, would you make that motion, sir, for item?
Yes. I'll make the motion to move the consideration of the state tax form L 4029 to the work session.
Support. It's been moved and supported. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Okay,
Thank you, Pete.
thanks.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Moving on, invoice list discussion. I didn't see anything too out of the ordinary, just a couple items that I noticed on the May 14th list. We got a couple tax tribunal judgments. We see that once in a while. And then on the May 21st list, I say this every time we buy a new truck for one of the departments, but I wish I could buy a new F-150 for $23,600.
Amen.
Amen. Now, I know, it wouldn't that's a very good thing to say, exactly. And I want to say again, just as long as you brought it up, I wouldn't have said anything if you didn't bring it up. But I do want to say that, you know, they are just wonderful to work with. Great calls, wonderful to work with. And they meet the ideal, and then they give us a great trade-in. So we traded in a car, and this truck, of course, was approved in the budget process for inspections. You know, over time, we went from when I first got there, I think, to small Ford Fusions, if that's the car we had, Focus, maybe a Focus, small cars. You
Mhm.
know, it's a small person. If you're not a small person, not so good. Plus, you know, the terrain these inspectors are going over and where they're ending up. And then we switched to a mid-size, smaller Ford SUV, and now we're kind of looking at the trucks make more sense. So that's we're giving this a trial and see how it works. I am surprised we were able to get a truck, given the fact that there are so many issues with production and, you know, chips.
Yeah.
The computer chips not being here and all these partially finished trucks being parked elsewhere. So we were able to get the truck for inspections. I will tell you, just because you might be interested, that there was a truck also approved for the sheriff's office this year in the budget. And in the end, the sheriff couldn't get that truck anywhere. So we went with an SUV. It was less than what the truck had been approved, and, you know, went through the proper procurements and ended up approving that. So they went with that. Hopefully next year they'll be able to get in that truck. There's good reasons the sheriff's office should have a pickup truck too. Just weren't any available for what he needed for the package that he needed. So, yeah, Craypole is a great partner, and we're happy to work with them in our community.
They are good, and they're, you know, of course, they're local and they do a lot of stuff in the community, supporting sports,
Yes,
all kinds of
yes,
charitable things going on. So
yes, they do.
yes, Mr. Commissioner Jelezinski.
I have just a question or maybe a comment. I was looking at the legal fees dealing with the drain. You know, we see oftentimes the debt payment, and we have fees related to engineering. I kind of suspect, maybe I'm wrong, but these legal fees must be redoing easements or doing something. I guess I don't see that very often, why we would have legal fees, but the dollar amount seems to be pretty high.
That's
I'm trying to-
what I thought too. It's a little unusual, and it must be looking up property lines for easements or and things. I don't know.
Would you like me to ask the drain commissioner about that and have him provide an answer?
Yeah, if you don't mind.
I certainly will.
And then I was looking at the tax tribunal judgments. There must be that there's a tax that's levied against commercial properties, and probably gets appealed by the commercial properties to the state, and the state makes a judgment which rolls it back. You see them every
Appears to be.
while. I'm just wondering what angle I can have to get my taxes reduced.
Same angle of where you can buy your truck, huh?
So I can buy a truck, yes.
Well, I don't know if that's the case here, but I know the apartment complexes use occupancy rates as part of their argument to get that lowered. And I think we will continue to see probably lower occupancy rates with enrollment down at CMU.
Okay.
You know, I was on a call yesterday for the TIFA board that I serve on for the city, and that situation came up with the enrollment rates being lower, and one of the business owners from the downtown area was saying, you know, I can't remember now what the number of apartments that he said that he had that were vacant. I do think that is going to be certainly a challenge for the community. It just is. I mean, things are built for what you need when you're at this level and when that level drops, but hopefully it's a temporary situation. And I think, you know, in the next couple of years that will bounce back. Enrollment, I think, will bounce back. CMU has a great reputation. And
It's got to be a challenge for the university budget too.
it's a
What's their
challenge.
percentage of enrollment drop? Excuse me, I'm sorry.
I was
No,
thinking
you're
about
okay.
that the other day too, and I think we have a strong health professions school, and I think that'll help continue to draw students. That's the one, I shouldn't say that's the one, but that's one of the colleges that keeps growing, and that'll continue to grow.
What's interesting, I have a relative who is a physician somewhere at a university, and that person, on top of their other duties, is the manager for the residency program for the specialty at that university medical center. And kind of just in a general conversation, she said to me, so what do you know about the health services things at CMU? And I'm like, you know, what I've toured, what I've heard, what I hear in the community is top notch. So I think you're absolutely right, Commissioner Hope. I think that, you know, we're all aging. The population, the mature population is getting larger. We're going to need medical care. Medical field is something that obviously young people going into know that they will always have an opportunity for employment, and CMU has a great reputation. So I think you're right, it'll bounce back. It's just a tough couple of years.
I think so. And it was interesting. I remember when they started the medical school, the idea was to train family practitioners who would stay in this area in northern Michigan because there's such a shortage of them. So that's their whole focus. I mean, a lot of younger folks like to go into specialties and stuff and go work in research. What we need here is family practitioners. So that's what they're training at CMU. So.
Yes, they're hard to find.
Yep. Anything else on that? No? Okay. Then we're down to call to the public. Nicole, do we have anyone?
We do not at this time, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Then if there's nothing
So-
else. Yeah,
Can I just bring up just a point of clarification? Sorry.
absolutely.
I want the committee to know that we did successfully, as far as we know at this point, we did successfully register through the portal with Department of Treasury for the American Rescue Plan last Wednesday. Information is that it takes them 4 or 5 days to verify that, I guess, my facial recognition and my social security card and my application signatures all jive. And then after that, we could anticipate the first payment probably 4 or 5 days after that. So I would anticipate, I haven't heard anything different. I feel like that was Wednesday, so Thursday, Friday, Monday, Tuesday, with any luck, you know, it's all going to be okay. I do know that some other counties had already registered and received their first portion of that. As I think I said to the committee or to the board maybe last week, that, you know, we don't have to rush the registration because our money isn't going to go to anybody else if you're not the first ones to register. But I, as a county administrator, felt that I needed to bring that agreement to the board, and the board needed to authorize that. It was just too much of I didn't think it was appropriate for either myself or the chairman to sign that agreement without the Board of Commissioners authorizing it and approving it. So in case you hear from other folks that, oh, we've already got ours, don't worry, our will be on the way and it's not going anywhere else. So
Good to know.
yes,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
Anything else? Okay, hearing nothing further, then we will adjourn at 10:17 a.m. Good to see everybody.
Hey,
Good to
Steve?
see everybody. Stay safe. Take care.
Steve, I forgot you were on. I'd asked you a question just to get you on on camera.
No, I slipped in there about a minute, 90 seconds late, and so sorry about that. But I had a kind
No
of a back-to-back morning this morning. So,
Right.
but yeah, and I know that American Rescue Plan is a big deal. So that's awesome that you guys are pushing that forward. So I think that'll be critical to a lot of things going
Yeah.
forward.
Yeah.
Great. All right.
You guys have a good week.
Okay. Yeah.
Stay
You
safe. Thank
Good
you,
to see you.
everyone. Good to see you. Bye-bye.